Welcome to Sauti Ya Mama.
Thank you.
You can start by introducing yourself and your family and what you do for a living.
Oh, I'm Divinar. I'm Divinar Joseph. Divinar is my name and Joseph is my husband. We are blessed with 5 kids. Yeah, but according to our culture, we have 2 kids. I'm a second-time mom. Firstborn, a singleton, and secondborn, quadruplets. Firstborn is, she's turning 7 years this month, 29th. She's turning 7. And then the quadruplets are turning, okay, they are 2 years and 4 months. 2 years and 4 months, yes. Yeah, we are happily married. We thank God for everything. So, okay, my firstborn is 7, as I told you. The pregnancy was as hard as the secondborn, so it was smooth all through. Yeah, but now the secondborn, it was a bit crazy. Yeah, I actually noticed there's something wrong at immediately, like when I was pregnant, I started vomiting blood, having very crazy nausea. I couldn't eat anything at all. Like anything I could eat, I could vomit. But anyway, that is normal with pregnancy, but now the vomiting of blood really scared me. So I remember I was in up country. I'm a teacher, so it was holiday. It was November holidays. So I was in up country. I had to come back to Nairobi. By then I was 7 weeks. And then I went to Mata Hospital. There's a branch in Westlands. So I explained to the doctor about my situation. Then I was given they are very medication to alleviate the nausea. So various medications, some of them were very strong, like Zofra. I was told it's normally used in cancer patients to alleviate, to help in the nausea, but it's also recommended in pregnancy. So a lot of medication. But the situation didn't change as that. It was still like the same. I continued vomiting blood, but now I was given an appointment when I was 3 months. That was 21 weeks. As I was lying on the bed, the sonographer was like, what? I can see more than 3 hearts. That really scared the hell out of me. For me, it was just a direct meaning, like, could it be like I have a child who has more than 3 hearts, I didn't think like it's multiple babies. I thought like my baby has more than 3 hearts. And then I asked him, like, what do you mean? My baby has more than 3 hearts? No. He told me, you have quadruplets. By then, I didn't even know the meaning of quadruplets then.
Yes,
I just didn't know. I knew twins and triplets. By then, I had not come across anyone with, I didn't have, when you have when you're not, when you have no interest, you will never know some things. So I went to the gyna. There was a long queue, but now mine was like an emergency. So he took me there himself. To the gyna, I didn't have to queue. It was a really long queue, those clinic days.
Yeah.
So I went to the gyna, and the gyna was reading my report like for 20 minutes. I'm just there seated. And then after that, he was like, have you been told? I was like, yeah. So yeah, congratulations. They was like, now, this is kind of a high risk pregnancy. That word high risk. I think I didn't want to hear anything about being high risk. This is a high risk pregnancy. It was like, do you work? Yes. Where do you teach? I teach at Consolata School, Westlands. Now, you really have to like minimize your movements. You have to be on a bed rest, for you to be able to pull this through. I got so stressed. Actually, I was alone. I called a friend.
Who was your husband at the time?
My husband was out of the country. He had just traveled. Immediately, I sent the scan results. And then after he got the result, immediately he texted like, oh my God, these are blessings. I didn't expect that. These are blessings. We are blessed, He
was very happy.
He was very happy, and he called me immediately.
And did you take time off work?
Yes. Actually, now I felt now so sick, I used to be sick, weak. I used to faint. So anyway, the journey proceeded like that. It was a very rough journey. I used to, I was staying alone with my daughter, my firstborn, because my husband had gone out of the country for work, so I was all alone. I didn't have a house girl. By the way, when I used to have her, I never used to have a helper in the house because I was teaching in Consolata and she was there also. So we used to go to school together, come home together, so there was no need. So when I started really getting sick, at some point the teacher even called me, "Your daughter never comes to school, what is happening?" I was like, oh. I didn't even realize my daughter is not going to school. I was thinking 1-2 days off, yeah. So there was a neighbor whose kids were in Consolata. So my neighbor, he was actually my landlord. So he used to go to, so I talked to him and he could go with her and come back. And he was like, "Don't worry, I'll be helping you out." Because I had to tell him what is happening. So my next appointment, so I really started doing research about multiple pregnancies. I was reading, Googling, asking friends, now looking for friends with twins, triplets, now exploring kabisa. Now I was really ready for it. So I was inquiring about hospital, what is needed, and I remember there's one lady, she has triplets. She has this organization called Multiples Society. She's called Dr. Wala. She told me, now you need a good hospital. You need a hospital which has a very good neonatal unit. And there it was like, now I think Aga Khan, I'll go to Aga Khan. So I went to Aga Khan. The doctor is called Dr. Sikole Wanyonyi. I went, the doctor was Dr. Sikole is so assuring, so assuring. So he was like, "Now you are at the right place." And he was like, I used to work in, he was like, I used to work in, I can't remember, out of the country. I have delivered a lot of quadruplets, even 5 babies, Now he was asking me, how comes you got a quadruplet pregnancy? Were you on fertility treatment? Is it natural? What happened? And I told him I'm from a multiple family. We have twins, we have triplets in the family, but we don't have kids. So there was that history. So he was like, "Okay, you're at the right place." And they was like, "No, I have to do my own scan also to confirm this." So he was like, "No, I won't charge you." I was a cash payer, No
insurance, you didn't have insurance.
It's like now I was no longer going to work. It's like now my job had already been terminated by then. So, and I didn't want to start claiming, I'm not, it was absconding duty. Now he told me, normally high-risk pregnancies are likely to be miscarried because of mostly the multiple pregnancy, because of the too much pressure down. So too much pressure down is likely to open the cervix, and then the babies might come out before their time. And he was like, now there's something we call a cervical stitch. You have to go through get a cervical stitch. And there was but it was supposed to be done at 15 weeks or 16 weeks. And I was like, is there any problem doing it now? He was, no problem, but we are late for it. So I have to book you in 2 days.
Your previous doctor never told you about it?
No, he didn't tell me about it. He did not tell me about it. I actually had asked someone, from the group, the multiple group I had about the cervical stitching, and I even asked the doctor, but he was like, "Who is that telling you that it's not necessary? Doctors are different." So he told me, and he actually saw my medications. Okay, he told me, "I have to book you in 2 days because this is like an emergency. These babies will come out. We have to really act fast." And I was like, "How much is the cervical stitching?" He said, "It's around 90,000, but go to the billing office and confirm." Oh my God, I was like, 90,000? Where are we going to get all this money from? So I went to the billing office, and to my shock, I was told it's 120,000. So it's around 120, not more than 120. "Can we book you? You have to accept." I said, "Yeah, book me." I just said, maybe God will do something, by faith. I said, God will do something. So I was booked in 2 days. So I told my husband about it, and then he was very supportive. He told me, don't worry about anything to do with money, don't worry. Just worry about just carrying your health. Your health comes first. I'll send you that money. So after 2 days, I was put on a cervical stitch. Of course, I was told to go with a friend because it was daytime admission. Then in the evening, I went home. So after this stitch, I had, of course, some bleeding for 3-4 days. And then after that, I was okay. So I was told,
that's normal.
yeah, I was told it's normal. And
Are you still throwing up blood?
yeah, I was still throwing up. So I was told it's too much, too much heartburn. It's the one causing it. So I was told now, after the stitch, now take care of those stitches, because if you have to really minimize your movements. Now it was like I'm not supposed to go anywhere. Actually, my doctor told me you should minimize your movements as much as possible. If you want this to work out, you have to help me. I help you.
Was there somebody staying with you now at this point?
Now at this point, I had gotten a house help who was really helping me. So my husband came back. Actually, he quit working. He had to come back because now it reached a point I'm getting ill at night. I had to be taken to hospital. Now it has to be neighbors taking me to hospital. He decided to like quit working, suspend working for a while. He came back when I was like now 5 months. 5 months, yeah. So the journey, just continue with the journey, trusting in God. And of course, many people prayed for me.
How many times were you admitted?
I was admitted like 4 times. So I told some of my former workmates. I had to tell my friends, like, to you have those friends are really prayerful. I talked to them. I told them to keep me in prayers. For me, I thought it was a 50-50 thing, because I didn't know that I didn't make it. Sometimes I used to dream I'm dead. I'm going to deliver, I've died. So I used to have those dreams a lot. So I kept praying. And of course, my mother-in-law and my mom, my family,
they helped you through it?
They helped me a lot. My mom was actually fasting about it. Yes, and of course, a lot of friends prayed for me. Till now, okay, I used to get admissions now and then. Anytime I had an admission, they thought like the babies are actually coming out. It was a threatening miscarriage every time. So it had to be contained every time.
Were you still bleeding?
I used to bleed sometimes, yeah. But anytime, that Dr. Sikolia is just God sent. I used to call him even midnight. Like, doctor, I'm not feeling well. How are you feeling? He will pick up. Divinar, how are you feeling? And I would like start apologizing. I'm so sorry. No, don't apologize. How are you feeling? No, I'm not feeling well. Come to hospital. And sometimes he's not in the hospital, but he will just tell me come, and they give me another doctor. Because if he says he's not in the hospital, I will not go. And I could go to hospital. Now the expenses, now the pregnancy, the way we spent it was now getting crazy, because you go to hospital, they need like, when you're a cash payer, they need like a deposit of 70,000, We were now getting, it was getting expensive for us. But now we had no option. When I was now 32, when I was getting to 32 weeks, it was like 3 days to my delivery. My mother-in-law used to be sickly. She had she was diabetic, she had pressure, she had arthritis, she had a lot of issues. So my husband was called to a country, like, my mother-in-law is very sick, very, very sick, and, he has to go and take her to hospital. So he told me, I know I'm not supposed to travel, but mom is very sick, so kindly allow me to go pick her, bring her to Nairobi, so that, it's like I have 2 patients. I was like, that's fine. But I really got scared, all alone. The day he traveled, he traveled like today now, morning, and then that night, I started having contractions. I started having contractions. I started bleeding. but it was just spotting. It was not really like bleeding. So I was feeling, it was a lot of pain. I was in pain, you know. So my sister had already come in. My small sister had already moved in now to stay with us. So I didn't even wake up my sister. I tried called my husband, his phone was off. I called my mother-in-law, phone off. I just slept up to morning. I just said maybe it is just normal. The way, you know, I used to be in a lot of pains every day, day in. So it was like a normal thing, though this was a bit severe. So there was this neighbor who came. She used to come check on me like daily. She came. So Brenda came and I heard them talking. And my sister told her she has not eaten anything since morning. You know that it was like 1. She has not eaten anything since morning. And Brenda came and was like, what is wrong? No, we have to go to hospital right now. And I was like, no, I'm not going to hospital because I have an appointment tomorrow. And she was like, no, you can't wait. How are you feeling? The husband is a doctor. She called the husband. The husband came immediately. She was home. She came immediately. He came immediately, and they told me to go to the sitting room. I went to the living room. Then he told me, no, we have to go to hospital. You know, I respected him, so I had to accept. So we went to hospital. I was in so much pain now. The pain now was becoming, you know, severe. We reached hospital. And then, you know, the doctor was not expecting me. And I didn't even call him. So, and then another nurse told us, oh, Dr. Scolia has like 4 deliveries. He's in theater. He can't even, I don't think he can even pick calls. You know, now I started panicking. Right? I was now bleeding, yeah? So, and you know, when you have your doctor, nobody wants to like touch you. They have to wait for him. So another nurse told me, you know what, just text. Tell me, let me text him. Text him. And I was like, I can't text. Please help me text. So he texted, like, I'm here, this is Divinar, I'm here. Out of nowhere, he came, like 5 minutes he was there. I think he gave another guy the deliveries to do. So he came, and then, you know, he came laughing. You know, he's full of life. He came laughing. What is wrong? Divinar, what is wrong? We were to meet tomorrow, not today. You know, every clinic he used to tell me, hopefully you will not call me before the day, our dates. So he was like, we are to meet tomorrow, what is happening? And then he was like checking me. He was, you already, you have contractions. And he called the other doctors, you have to prepare theater now. He told me, now we have to remove the babies today because these babies will affect your health. You already have contractions, they have to be removed. I was like, please remove them even now, you have to remove them. So I went to the normal procedures, you know, the signing of, you have to sign the papers, whether you will accept to be blood transfused. All the procedures, I was in theater. In theater, there were like 15 doctors. No, it was like the whole of Aga Khan, they knew there is a mom having, they really treated me so well. I thank God for that. There were a lot of doctors, so there was those who were assuring me everything will be fine. Some came to pray for me, and then they explained me the process, and then I went through epidural. So epidural is half. You normally see what is happening, but they put like a curtain to cover you. So I could hear like them touching me, you know, I could hear them pulling the babies. I heard the babies cry, but there's one baby who didn't cry. I had only 3 cry. You know, they could give me, they remove the baby, they give you like within seconds, they're taken away. So the babies were taken to ICU because they could not even breathe well. You know, that was... How many weeks were you? 32. I was going to 32. That is like 7 months, 2 months earlier. So the babies were immediately taken to ICU. But the first time I saw the first baby, second, third, fourth, I was stressed. They were so tiny, you know, tiny. You know, like the smallest was 1.2 kg. You know, my firstborn was 4 kg. So I had not seen a small baby like that. I was like, you know what came into my mind? So all this time, I've really struggled, I've suffered too much pain, I've quit working. These babies will not survive. I just told God, I just did a quick prayer and told God, please God, don't disappoint me. The babies were taken to neonatal ICU. I couldn't go to see the babies. I wasn't able to walk. So the following day at night now, even my phone I think went off now. The following day at night, that is when I went to see, there's a nurse who helped me, I went to see the babies. The way the tubes were all over them, the nose, even at the chests. I just told God, I'm still looking upon you. I know everything will be okay.
The baby who didn't cry, was she?
Yeah, she was okay. She was okay. And then I even asked, I love asking questions. So I asked why one baby didn't cry. So she was the last one and she was really, the others, she was squeezed kind of. She was tired, but she's now okay. Actually, at one point, a nurse gave me an album. They normally have this album for preemie babies when they were born, and now, these are now 15 years, this is how they used to look. They have the comparison pictures. They gave me a lot of strength, so I felt better. The following day is when my husband was told. Of course, friends came to see me and they told him what has happened. He came immediately. He came with my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law was very sick. He came, my mother-in-law got admitted,
The same hospital?
Yes, different hospital. He was taken to another hospital for admission. So my husband came, I think, after all the, he was all alone doing all that. He came and he told me we should, and he was apologizing, I'm so sorry. How could I miss this? He was feeling so bad. He was actually crying. How could I miss? I've been there for you, but this is a time I didn't want to miss. And I was like, that's fine. So we went to see the babies. He broke down. He said, no, these babies will not survive. They're so tiny. I was like, they will survive. I had to be strong because I noticed he's not strong at all.